I will trust in you and know that you are with me forever. I'll confide in you, 'cause you're the only answer that matters. Even in the darkness, you will be my light. Even when I'm hopeless, you will be my guide. I will not be shaken, I will not be moved. Even in the chaos, I know that you're good. You're the keeper, protector. It is you that holds us together when everything else fails us. It is you that holds us together.
I will trust in you, your thoughts and plans of me, they are good, and I will wait on you. I know that you will see me through, and even in the darkness, you will be my light, and even when I'm hopeless, you will be my guide. So I will not be shaken, I will not be moved, and even in the chaos, I know that you're good. You're the keeper, protector. It is you that holds us together when everything else fails us. It is you that holds us together. Yes, you're the keeper, the protector. It is you that holds us together when everything else fails us. It is you that holds us together. Holds us together. You're the keeper. Oh, yes, you are. It is only you. When everything else fails us, it is you that holds us together. You're the keeper. You're the protector. You're the keeper, protector. It is you that holds us together when everything else fails us. It is you that holds us together.
I recently read The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Having more money will make you happier if having more money means you have more control over your time. Billionaire Charlie Munger once said, "I did not intend to get rich. I just wanted to get independent." If you want to attain the kind of wealth which awards you the freedom to do what you want, when you want, with whom you want, you must think differently about money and develop a strong investing psychology. Develop a strong investing psychology by understanding 3 concepts that most people fail to understand. I call these the 3 money misunderstandings. Money misunderstanding number 1, compounding. If I give you $1 on January 1st and double it every day after that, $2 on January 2nd, $4 on January 3rd, $8 on January 4th, how much money would I have to give you on January 31st? $1,000? $10,000? Well, if you understand the power of compounding, you know that you stand to make much, much more than $10,000 on January 31st. By compounding $1 at 100% for 31 days, you would receive $1,073,742,000 on January 31st. Congratulations, you just become a billionaire in a month. But if you delayed that game for a week and didn't start compounding that first dollar until January 8th, how much would you receive on January 31st? 250 million? 100 million? Nope. You would take home just $8 million on January 31st. By waiting a week, you brought home 99% less money. If this doesn't seem intuitive, don't worry. The human mind does not easily grasp the power of compounding. Warren Buffett is regarded as the best investor of all time. Today he's worth approximately $86 billion. But did you know that nearly $82 billion of his $86 billion was generated after his 65th birthday? Here's a chart of Buffett's wealth over the years. Since Buffett was 11 years old, he has achieved an annual average return of 22%, which is twice as good as the average stock market return. But this 22% average annual return is nothing compared to other investors. Take Jim Simons, a mathematician who runs the firm Renaissance Technologies. Simons has achieved 66% returns for the last 33 years. But Simons has just a quarter of the wealth that Buffett has, because Simons, like other investors, have not consistently compounded their wealth for as long as Buffett has. Buffett has more money than other investors because of one primary reason. He's maximized his time in the market to leverage the power of compounding. The first key to building independence-level wealth is to start investing now with whatever you can afford, may that be $100 or $10,000, and keep that money invested so you give compounding enough time to work its magic. This advice is simple, but many smart investors fail to follow this advice because they get greedy. Many years ago, Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett had another business partner named Rick Guerin. Guerin was an investing genius, like Munger and Buffett, but few people know about Guerin because when the stock market was soaring in the late 1960s, Guerin leveraged his money and used debt to maximize his returns. But when the stock market dropped by 70% in the early 1970s, Guerin got margin calls and was forced to sell his stock. Whenever I'm tempted to take on risk and chase a big return in any given year, I just remember that if I'm wrong and lose 50% in 1 year, I'll need to achieve 100% return the following year just to break even. Now, if greed doesn't interrupt your compounding curve, fear probably will. When you watch your stock market portfolio drop by 30% in a market downturn, fear will likely consume you and make you believe that you're going to lose all your money. So you better sell and wait for the market to recover. But know this, in any 20-year period, 100% of people who bought and held the S&P 500 stock market index made money. We all must develop the mental fortitude to weather short-term downturns in order to benefit from long-term uptrends and leverage the power of compounding. To do this, we must correct the second money misunderstanding. Money misunderstanding number 2, volatility. Volatility refers to the daily swings in the market. Stocks have high volatility because on any given day, a stock portfolio can be up or down a few percent. People who can't handle the emotional ups and downs of the stock market or other volatile markets invest in low volatility assets like treasury bonds and guaranteed investment contracts to achieve a steady return. But no low volatility asset will outperform a volatile stock market over an extended period. Some investors believe that they can get high annual returns without volatility. That's why several people happily gave millions of dollars to a man on Wall Street who claimed he could generate a steady 1% return each month with no downside risk. That man was Bernie Madoff, a con man who ran a Ponzi scheme and took everyone's money. Volatility is the emotional price you need to pay if you want good annual returns. If you're invested in an index like the S&P 500, which constantly adds growing companies to replace dying companies, you can be confident that the long-term trajectory of that index is up and to the right, regardless of how much volatility the index experiences in any given month or year. But when you log into your trading account and you're down a bunch of money for the day or month, it's hard not to believe that you've done something wrong. Author Morgan Housel offers a great analogy to help you ride out the market dips and embrace volatility. Housel suggests viewing volatility as a fee, not a fine. If you get a fine, like a parking fine, for parking in an illegal spot, you change your behavior and avoid that spot in the future. But if that parking spot required a fee up front, you would pay it and continue parking there, if that spot was the best spot for miles. The same principle applies to investing. If you own an index like the S&P 500, view the volatility and the occasional dip as a fee for being in the market and getting the opportunity to receive high annual returns over an extended period of time. Money misunderstanding number 3, tail investments. When Amazon launched the Fire Phone in 2014, it could very well have been a dominant smartphone and doubled Amazon's stock price. But the Fire Phone was a dud. And just a few years after the Fire Phone was launched, CEO Jeff Bezos had to scrap the project and swallow a $170 million loss. But Bezos was unfazed. In an interview after the Fire Phone failure, he said, "If you think that's a big failure, we're working on much bigger failures right now. I'm not kidding. Some of them are going to make the Fire Phone look like a tiny little blip." Bezos made hundreds of small bets at Amazon. One of those bets was Amazon Web Services, a small side project that now generates over 60% of Amazon's operating income. Amazon Web Services is a tail investment, a single investment that massively outperformed all other investments and made up for several bad investments, like the Fire Phone. Since it's impossible to know which investments will generate huge returns and which will not, it's wise to spread out your bets. Instead of going all in on one investment, make at least 10 equal investments in a diversified group of companies, currencies, commodities, or other assets you think could double in the next 5 years. Or invest in a big, broad index of companies, like the Russell 3000. Since 1980, nearly 50% of companies in the Russell 3000 have lost value, but the index has provided a 73-fold return thanks to just 7% of companies in the index, like Apple and Amazon, who have done extraordinarily well. As author Morgan Housel likes to say, you can be wrong half the time and still make a fortune. In the end, strengthen your investing psychology by constantly reminding yourself to leverage the power of compounding, embrace volatility, and make many diversified investments to benefit from a few tail investments. Remember Buffett's compounding curve and invest right now to make time your biggest competitive advantage. Remember that volatility is a fee and not a fine. And remember that you can have several failed investments, like the Fire Phone, so long as you have one or two wildly successful investments, like AWS. That was the core message that I gathered from The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. This is one of the best books I've read for months, and a must-read for any aspiring investor. I highly recommend it. If you would like a one-page PDF summary of insights that I gathered from this book, just click the link below and I'd be happy to email it to you. If you already subscribe to the free Productivity Game email newsletter, this PDF is sitting in your inbox. If you like this video, hit that like button and share it with a friend. And as always, thanks for watching and have yourself a productive week.
Well, listen, this has been a great conversation. I think we got space to go a little bit deeper here to have a conversation about the mindset. And you say a lot about that, both directly and indirectly as it relates to money, how we ought to be thinking about money, what it means, what is it a tool that we ought to control, or is it a tool that ought to control us? Your books help see what terms and definitions as freedom, as financial freedom, financial independence, and going even now to the UIL. How do we change our mindset so that we can be free, not in a hypothetical sense of a term, but in the literal sense of passive income, having enough coming in that can handle all our expenses that goes out?
You have to put it down to the basics, right? You have 6 steps. You need to earn more money, okay? You need to get rid of bad debt. That's any debt above 2% interest, or you have to figure out how to get out of that. There's tools you can do. You can invest these days, and you can borrow at 2% interest and pay off debt. So just learning the tools that are available today that never existed. You need to define the number. What is the number you need to make to become financially free? If that's $3,000 a month, whatever, that's your number, okay? And there's lots, I'm not the only person talking about this. There's lots of people talking about this. Retirement isn't something you do at 65 or 70. Retirement can be 5 years away for you. You just have to pick that number and get to work, right? And get to work, right? And then start hanging out with people that are doing the same thing. You become the average of the 5 people you hang around with most, right? You're hanging with broke people, it's gonna be hard to not be broke, right? Yeah. Now, if it's broke people and they're all studying finances, that might be the great people to be around, right? If you're like hanging with broke people, but they're all like dedicated to learning any subject, this can be any subject. So you have to try and read books, read a little bit every day, okay? Write maybe some ideas that you're learning.
Write it down, you're saying?
Write it down. Yeah, you have to read something and you have to write it down. Wow. When you write a book, highlight the words in it. Highlight a phrase or something that goes, man, that makes it in there. If you read a book, how do you go back to the book to find out something? You take a highlighter and you highlight it in the book. So you just have to be a student. Go back to being a student. You know, people go to school and they're forced to read books. They leave school, they never read a book again. That's the statistics. Wow. Right? You have to be a student of making yourself a better person in it. And you have to realize that you have to go, I get up every day, I go, what do I need to learn? How can I improve? I'm pretty financially literate, but there's a lot, I'll be a lifelong student of learning. That's for sure.
Yeah, you want to be a lifelong student of learning with money shifting and changing.
It is.
And needing to adjust and technological advances. Now we're in the midst of a pandemic where we don't know where those restraints and those restrictions will lead us. Is there a way, as it relates to the message looked at Romans 12:2, be not conformed to this world? You talk a lot about the banking system. I don't want you to say any bank particular names unless you want to. Of course, you have space to do so.
No.
But just a general systematic manipulation by the world, if you will, or yourself, if you will.
Try not to get myself in trouble here.
Well, just talking in general terms.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
And what's true is true. I mean,
what's true is true.
Rich, in your book, Rich Man, Poor Bank, you talk about how if I put in $10, what the bank is able to loan against, and things of that nature.
Okay, yeah. So basically, like I said, here's the problem, right? We came back to, we talked about this, that if you print this, it becomes worthless, right? Because it's just too much money chasing the same amounts of goods. Gasoline, food keeps going up in value, in price. But the problem is you don't need to print money anymore. You can just put money into a computer. When you have money in your bank account, there's no money. It's just 0 ones in a computer. When you put 20% down on a home, there's no actual money there. That's numbers in a computer. You buy a home, you put up 80%. They create numbers in a computer, and that's debt. It's just numbers in a computer. There's no money there, right? If somebody forecloses on the home, they just delete the entry. I mean, that money is virtual. It's been virtual for a long time. It's just numbers in a computer. But if you print more of it and then they create more of it into the computer, it creates inflation even faster. So the people don't realize how fast they're getting poor, how fast their wealth is being taken away from them. And that's not things the government teaches you. They teach you, like I said, they took food and energy out of the inflation rate, so you don't know how fast you're becoming poor, right? If you take taxes and inflation and bank interest, the chances of you doing well financially are nothing pretty much. Taxes, inflation, bank interest. You add that up, it's going to be very tough to do well financially. So definitely you got to get financially educated.
What are some of the things that Remy is doing to educate people financially?
I mean, I do it every day, but building what's called the Perfect Portfolio. We'll launch a company in December called the Perfect Portfolio, and it's a class that takes people through those 7 levels from I don't know anything to, You know what I know. You know what I know. You don't need me anymore, because I'll teach you everything you know. Everything I know, you'll know.
Your ideal is to find this as a space, a safe space to equip people with your information, with your level of expertise and information about financial literacy.
Yeah, my vision for the company is I can teach you to fish, right? But then you can teach others people to fish, right? What if churches teach the pastor to fish, and then the pastor teaches the congregation to fish? And then how about the church put a perfect portfolio inside the church? That becomes, what if we did that with charities? What if we went into schools and we taught children to fish, right? What if we had people that were so here's the problem. Robots are going to take away jobs, right? We all know this. They're already replacing
Artificial
jobs
intelligence.
everywhere.
AI.
But robots can also make you financially independent. Robots can drive your investments when you're not. I'm not doing it. Am I working right now?
I know.
My cell phone's making lots of money, no? Because it's robots, and they're basically
Really?
Yeah, you can automate your income.
Following the algorithms and things of that nature.
Just
yeah.
robots making you money. I don't know how much I made, but I can probably check my phone and find out how much I made
Yeah.
during this conversation.
Wow.
So I became financially free, but not because of working. I became financially free because of financial literacy and understanding how the world is changing. And I want to share it. I really do. I want to share it with you, and I want to share it with everybody in this room here.
Yeah.
Right? Give you guys financially freedom. It's better. I tried being broke and didn't like it. So I tried being financially independent. It's fun. You should try it sometime.
At least you tried being broke.
Yeah, I tried
Yeah,
being
yeah,
broke. Yeah, it was there for a long time. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but definitely on my way to financial independence, and thanks to you and understanding things better and having that concept. Thank for you to coming out in the midst of your tremendously busy schedule. I want to challenge the people on tonight to take advantage of my friend and brother by picking up his books. Please, please, please pick up his books right away. But then also to listen to what he is saying. That's so critical, to listen to what he is saying. Not hearing, he doesn't like my party or he's something against my group. No, listen to what he's saying, and then let's collectively work it out. So I'm going to pray, and I want you, friends, to do me a favor. If you haven't done so already, go to Amazon. Go there now. You can still have this string up. Go to Amazon, type in the name Mark, M-A-R-K, J-Q-U-A-N-N. Get all 3 books if you can. If you can't get all 3, start with Rich Man, Poor Bank, to make your way to top 10 ways to avoid taxes legally. I've added that in italics.
Yeah.
And then top 25 ways that you can secure your financial future through UIL. Top 25 ways that IUL can secure your financial future. We didn't have time to talk about that.
Yep.
But to be fair to you, let's allow you to close out with that before I
Okay.
pray.
Yep.
And then we'll let that go, and then let people know where they can find you, be it on social media and things of that nature. Let's get that word out there, Mark.
Okay, first of all, let's by the way, so I feel like, man, we're gonna make some money. I tell you, I'll track my sales on Amazon. All my sales I make for the next 7 days, I'm gonna donate to the to your foundation or church. How about that? All my
Yeah,
sales on
just
Amazon. I don't
donate
care
to
where.
the
I don't care
church,
if they
yeah.
come from this or whatever.
Yeah.
Almost all my profit will be donated to it. So, I mean, as far as like, I'm on Instagram. Instagram's probably the best place. It seems to be the best place to contact me if somebody wants to do that. But ideally, I'm a tremendously busy person, as you can understand.
Yes, I understand.
I'd rather be contacted by an organization that can influence more people, and we can get a better use of time. I can't have 500 people, setting up individual meetings. It would be very difficult to do that. In the future, I'll have more content on YouTube and things like that. I don't.
You heard it here. That's where you can find them. That's where you can find the resources. Make sure you tap into that. Let's be a tangible blessing to someone that's been a blessing to us and so many. But then more importantly, build upon these things, layer on top of layer, so that you can understand and can think better about your thinking as it relates to money. Father, thank you for another chance to learn more about how to honor you via our wealth. Thank you for Mark. We pray for everything that pertains to him. Bring every holy desire to pass, holy aspiration, and shield them from everything that is negative and not as foundational. All these things we pray for Jesus' sake. Amen. Make sure you tune in next week for the conclusion of this conversation, Sunday morning. Or go to our website or one of our digital platforms, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, and rewatch it for yourself. God bless you. We love you. God's getting us through this season.
So many people ask me, is it possible to train your brain to help you make more money? And the answer is yes. So maybe I can share a story with you of how I started to train my own brain to help me make more money. And it started with setting some goals for the kind of lifestyle that I wanted to live. And my mentor, Walter Schneider, many years ago, was a very, very successful businessman. And he said, in order to achieve your goals, he said, first you have to have the clarity of what they are. So let's say you have a financial goal of making, let's say $100,000 a year. Okay, that's about $8,500 a month, or about $2,150 every week that you want to earn. And let's say you're not earning that right now. One of the things you can do to train your brain to help you make that amount of money is, first and foremost, get clear on the exact amount you want to earn, whether it's per week, per month, or per year. That's step number one. Step number two, create a simple affirmation that goes like this: I am so happy and grateful for the fact that I am now earning $10,000 a month. Simple affirmation. And what I want you to do is I want you to read that affirmation every single morning 5 to 10 times, and every single night before you go to bed 5 to 10 times. And as you read that affirmation, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to practice, mentally rehearse you receiving that money in the form of a check or cash or in your bank account, and see the money going into your bank account. I want you to feel what it feels like to consistently have $10,000 a month coming into your bank account. And you can choose whatever amount you want, by the way. And as you close your eyes and you visualize that money coming into your account, what I also want you to visualize is the impact that that amount of money will have on your life, your family's life, your friend's life, the community that you live in, and the charities that you want to support. Get totally into a mental movie and the emotions as if you were a Hollywood actor or actress pretending that that was really happening. So you'd read your affirmation: I'm so happy and grateful for the fact that I am now earning $10,000 a month. And as you do that and you repeat that, mentally rehearse, visualize what that looks like. And what that does is that primes your brain to see and feel as if it is real right now. And that activates the different parts of your brain, specifically the left prefrontal cortex, which is the genius, CEO, Einstein part of your brain that can actually help you figure out how to achieve that goal and dream. So if you do that in the morning and at night before bed, morning upon waking up, nighttime before bed, you will start to prime your brain with an affirmation, with a mental rehearsal, and you will cognitively prime your brain. And if you want a bonus step, what I want you to do is take a vision board, either on your computer or a physical board, and cut out some pictures of what lifestyle earning $10,000 a month will allow you to live. What kind of car would you drive? What kind of places would you go vacation in? What kind of home would you live in? What kind of charities would you support? Get pictures of the outcome of earning $10,000 a month is, or $100,000 a year, and start to see yourself in that scenario and act as if it is real right now. And then every day, ask yourself a question. What can I do today to make that amount of income a reality? And take 1 or 2 action steps towards making that a reality. So the physical actions, in addition to the mental rehearsal with affirmations and mental rehearsals, visualizations, is one of the best ways to start priming your brain to achieve the financial goals you have.
Now it's time to worship through giving. You can use our electronic giving options on our website. Click the donate button below the video or click give from the home page. You'll be directed to PushPay. On your smartphone, you can text MSC give to 77977 and follow the prompts to give. On our church app, Sinai Church LA, press the give button and follow the prompts to give.
The memory verse for this week is Proverbs 10, verse 4. It says, "A slack hand causes poverty, but the hand of diligent makes rich." Now that's something to think about. Stay on track with the 31-day finance fast. Our goal is to spend less, save more, and give more. Then, on Super Sunday, October 31st, we want to offer God the fruit from our financial fast. Pastor George is asking everyone to pray and give generously. Give double tithes if you already give 10% of your income. Or step up and give 10% if you're not a regular tither. Or give an offering of $100 if you're a Sinai supporter. We'll hope you'll do your best to join us in person to hear our guest speakers on that day too. Dr. Charlie Dates from Chicago and Dr. Jason Turner from Memphis. The financial tools from Dave Ramsey and the Financial Peace University are now available online through Ramsey Plus. These resources will help you live debt-free and become outrageously generous. Best of all, it's free to you for 1 year. To get started, text the word MONEY to 323-613-3237 or contact the church office for details. Join us for morning prayer on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 6 a.m. to 6:30 on our prayer line. The number to dial is 508-924-3800. On Saturday, we'll meet for prayer in our church parking lot from 7 a.m. to 7:30.
Father, we thank you and we love you and we thank you for giving us the opportunity to know you. We thank you for the measure of faith you allow us each and every day, Lord. Help us now, Lord, to go down from this place, to live out what we heard today, to go down from this place just seeking you, wanting you, desiring you a little more than we did before we came in here. Now to him who's able to keep you from falling and present you faultless before the presence of his own glory with exceeding joy, to our God alone, who is wise, be glory, majesty, dominion, and power, both now and forever. Amen.